Brad Jansen will speak now, Vice President Global Accounts from Havas Sports and Entertainment from Atlanta. And the speaking will be about the power of gaming to grow brands, a Coca-Cola case study. Brad, the floor is yours. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you. Everything communicates, and content is everywhere. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Coca-Cola company and the power of gaming and the role that it has in growing brands. My name is Brad, I'm from Havas Sport and Entertainment, and I lead the global relationship for the Coca-Cola company for our network. But you'll hear throughout the presentation that I'll give today, I'll talk about we, I'll talk about us, because I am indoctrinated, I'm brainwashed, I drink from the liquid tap. I'm passionate about the brand, as is everyone that works within our organization is passionate about the brands that we work on. So, the other piece that's incredibly passionate about is gaming. And as a passion point, why we think it's interesting is it really has this unique opportunity to tap into the things that people truly care about. But before we get there, I want to talk to you a little bit about what content is and the way that the Coca-Cola company manage content. For them, the first thing, very much like that liquid ice-cold refreshment, it needs to be liquid. It's got to be able to flow freely through multiple connection points, kind of with no dead ends. And it needs to be linked to our brand, to our business objectives, as well as obviously to our audiences. At the Coca-Cola company, we also have an investment principle we call 70-20-10. 70% of our content is tried and tested. It's the bread and butter content. It's the stuff we know is going to work. 20% of our content is what we call innovative content. So this is about an opportunity for us to target niche audiences, but still with an opportunity to scale. And the last bit, the 10, is total innovation, where we will spend 10% of our budgets in this area and in fact say that we don't mind failing, so long as we learn quickly. Well, the truth is you're working for a big-ass brand and they don't want you to fail, but the principle's there, and we will agree it. And it talks about this idea of now is the 70, the 20 is the new and the next, and this is kind of this role that gaming is starting to play. Gaming most certainly provides us with an opportunity to innovate. It's in a space where very few brands are playing, but it's also providing us huge opportunity for scale. And it's over the next sort of few minutes, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the 10 reasons why the Coca-Cola company value gaming. But before I do that, and because we had lunch, and because we are all lethargic and we are not drinking ice-cold refreshing Coca-Cola as I am, I want all of you to stand up because we're going to play a little game. By show of hands, who of you are gamers? Just put your hands up. If you think you're a gamer, put your hand up. So few of you. In reality, you're all bloody gamers, every single one of you. And I'm going to show you, because we're going to play a little game. A game requires action. It has things you need to do. And then there's this reward at the end. So simply, all I want you to do is follow the instructions really carefully. It'll continue into a really awesome sizzle video that shows you a little bit about the power of what Coca-Cola is doing in the gaming space. You're all welcome to stand, because that way I get a guaranteed standing ovation for the camera. It looks freaking fantastic for me. Are you ready? Let's try. Volume. Fantastic. Well done. Well done. You guys are awesome. And your reward is simply that you will have that song in your head for the rest of the day. And you can go over to any store, buy yourself a refreshing ice cold Coca-Cola, and you can say it's from me. So when I spoke about who of you are gamers, the reality is more of you are gamers than you think you are. There are 1.8 billion players in the world. That's a quarter of the world's population are gaming. And if you take away the rural, people living in rural environments, that is more than 50%. In Poland, 13.4 million players. 13.4 million players, of which 98% are playing on PC. That's around 60% of the urban population that are gaming. And the reality is gaming is for everyone, because this idea of this geek sitting in a dark room in a basement, smashing away at his PC, you know what, in the United States, that's not the number one gamer anymore. The number one gamer is mom. Mom who's playing Candy Crush while waiting for little Johnny to get out of school. And she's hammering away at Candy Crush far more hours than the guy who's in the basement playing League of Legends. And that's the reality. For us, it's about entertainment. It's a new entertainment platform. Olivia Robert Murphy was on a little bit earlier talking about the power of the music industry. We know how massive it is. Gaming is bigger than Hollywood and music combined in revenue. $90 billion. $90 billion is spent within this gaming environment. And you know what? There are hardly any bloody brands, which is fantastic for us. In Poland, you're 24th in the world in terms of revenues generated through gaming, and have a big involvement in game development coming right out of this beautiful country. Gaming is everywhere. Here's UK Tory, his name is Nigel Mills. He was bussed playing Candy Crush while he was sitting in one of these really important Commons meetings in the United Kingdom, and he got caught on camera. Instead of passing bills, he was playing Candy Crush. And the idea that gaming has become so mobile is the reason that we're involved in it everywhere. I mean, many of you are probably gaming today whilst we were supposed to be listening to very important conferences. 13 million of the 13.4 million are playing on PC, 9.2 million on personal handheld devices. That's nearly 70% of people in Poland that are doing that. It's incredibly engaging as this piece of content. For those of you who haven't already tried, join at the VR station and kind of mess around a little bit there. It's incredibly engaging. It's this immersive experience. We all talk about sort of our teens and millennials wanting to co-create. They want to be part of the storytelling. They want to get involved in it. Well, here, they can be the goal scorer of the FIFA World Cup. Here, they can be the hero that, kind of won everything. He's the guy that did the kill shot that ends up saving the entire planet from zombies that are taking over. It's part of the storytelling, and it's incredibly engaging. But it's not just this idea of play, because gaming has evolved from not just playing, but to attending and to watching. An average esport viewer is watching 2.2 hours of gaming content each session. So it's massively engaging as a form of entertainment. And then it's also about experiences. It's about us creating experiences. We want to create opportunities where we can create occasions to serve our liquid ice-cold refreshment. And through gaming, as I'd mentioned, this idea where people are coming together and attending, 30,000 people watched 5 people playing against another 5 people playing a video game. A video game, people, in a stadium with 30,000 people. And yes, it may sound stupid now, but if we think about it, 11 people kick around a little piece of leather into a net, and we think that's normal. And then 2 people will hit a little fluffy yellowish ball with a tennis racket, and we think that's normal. You know what? Esport will be an Olympic sport. Maybe not tomorrow, but it will. Because this is where the communities are. This is the changing landscape of sport. In the same way that my grandfather's grandfather was saying football will never catch on. We're here, we're at the cusp of what this is. And at the Coca-Cola company, we're constantly creating experiences for our fans in these environments. We've spoken a lot today about content, and in reality, gaming itself is content. You saw that first video that we showed you with Just Dance. There is a piece of content. It's branded content. It's got our song in it. It's got our dance moves that we've created. It's got our visual identity system in the background. It's a piece of branded content. But kids are actually dancing and moving to it. They're participating in that content that we're sharing with them, that they could only access by buying a refreshing ice-cold Coca-Cola, and that it feels organic and it feels natural. And content's becoming this sort of massive buzzword that everyone's talking about. But through gaming, we were able to kind of, in a very natural and authentic way, be part of that conversation. Mark spoke about sort of the power of content has, but for brands, it's really tough because at the end of the day, I need to sell my shit. And having a great piece of content is freaking awesome, but dude, I need people to go to a refrigerator at a store and buy it. So how do I ensure that my content gets across to my community, but in a real and authentic way that adds value to their experiences? We constantly talk about the fact that we are the ally, we're the support, we're not the protagonist. We can't lead the gaming conversation. It's the industry to do that. We're not going to create the next game. Coca-Cola is not a gaming company. That's like saying, let's create a new sport, because that sounds like a fun thing to do. It's rather, who has the most audiences and where can we tap into that? So we launched a program called eSport Weekly with Coca-Cola that we launched on IGN. And we're using this as a platform, basically becoming the next ESPN in the gaming space. And it's these kinds of pieces of content that is offering us massive amounts of engagement. Socially, it is critically important. And Mark again spoke about sort of the importance of this kind of socialness. We launched a Twitter handle probably a few months ago called @CokeEsport. That most of you, if you actually tuned in and read our Twitter feed, wouldn't have a single clue of what we're talking about. I don't often have a clue of what we're talking about. But we grew to about 330,000 followers in literally no time. It became the second biggest page in Coca-Cola's history. Bigger than Fanta, bigger than Sprite, bigger than Coke Zero. Because it's tapping into something that people truly care about and that people are absolutely passionate about. And that we're communicating them in a way that it resonates with them. It's important because this guy said so. And Jez spoke about this guy when we were talking about our influencers. And yeah, PewDiePie is phenomenal. And yes, he has 40 million subscribers. Yes, he has double that of Katy Perry. Yes, he is Katy Perry plus Rihanna and still has some more followers. And yes, he's got 10 billion views of his content. And yes, he made $12 million US. Yes, last year alone, he's made about $26 million US just through his content, let alone his endorsements, let alone his paid. And you know what? There's millions more like him. Because everyone can cast. Everyone can utilize this platform now. PlayStation have just released straight off their console, you can do streaming. So it's just going to create more content creators. And unless we're part of that conversation and we're utilizing this network to spread our message, we're lost. It's not the old days. And these guys are our content creators. So we're leveraging off the power that they have and the communities that they have to be able to spread our messages. Because if they say it's cool, it's cool. If they say it's shit, it's shit. And that's the thing, and that's the role that we're playing with them. At Havas Sport Entertainment, we constantly talk about this idea of fans, passions, and brands, and that we're able to kind of unlock the power of fandom through the things that people truly care about and get the brands into the heart of them. When there's 71 million people that are watching competitive esport, it's a great way and a place for us to engage with them. But you know what? In reality, there's so few brands in this space that we're able to break through all of that clutter and doing things so simply and so easily. You would have seen in that video, we gave away pieces of cardboard, white on the front, little Coke logo, big fat red logo on the back. And we distributed these at the esport events because we had an insight that they love to hold up their cheerboards for whoever's playing. And we gave them accessibility to do something as simple as that. We've got fans that come up to us begging for the cheerboards, desperate for them. They say, thank you. I've been running football events for as long as I can remember. I've never had someone thank me for a piece of cardboard before. But because we're giving them something that resonates, and it's not about the item, it's about the understanding the audience that we're speaking to. It's about passions. And it's not only that gaming is a passion point, but this interesting thing, and wow, this is going to be the most rocket science thing you hear all day, is that teens and millennials don't experience passion points in isolation. I'm not just a gamer, and I'm not just like music, and I don't just like sport. I actually like all of them. And sometimes I do this and a little bit of this. And sometimes they do it all together. And what gaming does, it helps us to amplify existing passion points. So in the case, the Coca-Cola company have a massive investment in football. EA FIFA speaks to 120 million fans that have been playing EA FIFA over the last year. It gives us an opportunity to laser focus into this audience. That in the past, my first taste of a Coca-Cola was because my dad took me to a football stadium. Because I went to the football stadium, I watched it on television. Because I watched it on television, I said, Daddy, please can you go and take me to play? Because I really want to learn to play the sport. Now kids learn the game by playing it on the Xbox. And after the Xbox, they learn who Cristiano Ronaldo is, and they can want to kind of see him do the flick, so they'll check it out on YouTube. And then, okay, well, I'm quite interested in this, so I might tune in the television and watch the game, and then I'll go, Dad, can you take me to the stadium? The route to recruitment is the exact opposite. But it's also about empowering people to play the game. We know that EA have said to us 50% of people who play the game are actually drawn to playing the game in the real world. So it's helping to drive activity at the same time through the power of the passion point. And we're leveraging not just soccer, but music in exactly the same way as you saw through Just Dance. And as we kind of love and collide all of these passion points in a meaningful way. And then it's about our brands, because there's no use kind of creating this really awesome content and no one knows that it was Coca-Cola, or no one is going to actually go out and buy the product. So we need to create programs that are leveraging against our brand's needs. Here, for example, we did a program with Just Dance, and we launched what was called Just Dance Now. And for those of you who don't know, just download it on your phone. It's a free app and enables you to play Just Dance without a console. So you don't need to be tethered to a wall anymore or a console. You can just use your phone, and you can do all these crazy steps, which is really cool. What it means is that I don't have 4 people playing the game. I can have 1 million people playing one single dance move at the same time. And I can reward every single one of those people individually through e-prizeification. So this is really great for us. So what we did is we launched it with our dear friends at Just Dance. We put it on 35 million cans. We got something like 10.5 million downloads of the content. The Coca-Cola song itself was played 4 million times. This is an ad. Kids are dancing to our ad. And they redeemed that off our packs. So they're having to buy our product, engage with the content, and then leverage off that. And then we had like another interesting challenge where we had our cinema channel come to us and say, we can't get teens to come into our cinema, particularly when there's not a movie that resonates with them, and when we've got no movies at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday afternoon. It's a little bit difficult to get anyone into the cinema. So we brought competitive esport into cinema. And by doing viewing occasions, because this match is happening in Seoul, Korea, we've got tons of teens coming into cinemas where we have to specially get the people to open the door of the cinema, of the shopping complex, for our teens to come in. And we see a 20% increase in concession. Why? It's because we give them a collectible cup that has got their League of Legends heroes on it. That's something that they want, that ends up being sold for like $500 on eBay. So we're creating this content that they're passionate about because we're leveraging things that they truly care about. That little can we did in Seoul, Korea for the World Championships, that little can became our most tweeted piece of content of the year. 2,000 retweets, 2,000 favorites, and it was a picture of our pack. We had a 13% increase in volume at what we call IC, which is instant consumption, in Korea over that period. 13% of Coca-Cola, dudes, if you think of it, that's insane. It's absolutely insane. And it's why? Because we gave them something that they deeply wanted and resonated with them. You saw in the video, we did a really simple activation where we went to McDonald's and all we gave them was Wi-Fi. That's it. We sent out to a community utilizing influencers that said, come to McDonald's, we've got the coolest Wi-Fi, we'll give away some swag and come and play Hearthstone with us. And we had what we called a fireside gathering. We filled the place till 11 o'clock at night. We had 60% increase at counter sales. 60% increase at McDonald's. They had to change the McDonald's formula because no one would go to the counter anymore. We decided that we'd order your food via a tweet. So people sat on their asses and ate McDonald's and played a game, and we had great fun. So at the end of the day, it's about how we leverage. We've been talking a lot today about sort of meaningfulness and the role that meaningfulness has. We don't create the game, we make it better. We make the experience better, and we amplify it. And we create content that teens and millennials want and that resonates with them. And with that, I urge you all to become gamers, get a game, play a game, have fun with a game. It's a great way to interact with your kids if you have them. You know what? When I was young, my dad was at home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we could kick a ball outside. Now you're home at 8:30 at night and you've got 20 minutes before they go to bed. Learn to play EA FIFA. Thank you very much.